Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to today's live session of the course Humanities Unplugged. So as usual, I will share the link to the Mentimeter in the chat and I'll wait for you to join. Meanwhile, I'll share my screen. It should be visible now. Just a moment. Yes. Yeah. So you can find the link and the code to the Mentimeter in the chat box. So I'll wait for you to join. Oh, 5 of you have joined. I hope everybody can access the link to the Mentimeter. For any difficulty, please let me know. Yes. If some of you have joined the meeting now, I'll reshare the link again. So here you go. If anyone is not able to see the link or access the link, please do let me know. I've again shared the link in the chat box. So you should be able to log in by now. Okay. A lot more of you are joining right now. I hope everybody can access the link. Okay, then so people who are joining in now, you can click on the link and you can join us in the Mentimeter. And for the rest of the people who have already joined, I hope the screen is visible, right? My slides are visible. Okay, then let's begin. Okay, so I have created a few riddles for you. So you can type in the answer. So the first riddle is I stand without speaking, but I change how people speak about the past. What am I? You can give any guesses. Like I said, there are no wrong answers. There are just different perspectives. So you can feel free to type in the answers. Come on. And it's also, I can give you a heads up. It's related to the things you studied in the video. Textbook, okay. Yes, closer. It's like I stand without speaking. Yes. One of you got it. Very good. Okay, let's wait for some more responses. Yes, history also. Yes. It's also there. But in this context, since I've explicitly put it stands without speaking, I stand without speaking. I think, okay, I'll wait for some more responses. Statue. Okay, one of you already got it. So, okay, yeah, the answer is statue and monuments also, because in this case, that's the most relevant. I can still take history as well, textbook as well, literature as well, but in this case, the closest answer is statue and monuments because it's standing, right? Okay, very good. I have one more. Yeah, now guess it. I think this one you all will get it easily. I'm made of facts but carry feelings. People build me, argue with me, and change me. What am I? You guys able to guess it? Come on, shoot your answers. Go for it. Just take a wild guess. No need to think. These are like just icebreakers. So don't worry. Come on, come on. You're able to type in the answer, right? Yes. It's very easy. I'm sure you will get it. Made of facts but carry feelings. People build me, argue with me, and change me. What am I? We all studied this in school. Okay, some of you are texting in the chat. I see the input, but it's not showing here. Okay. So you typed in the answer. Okay, what happened? But for the previous answer, you were able to type in, right? Oh, okay, okay. Let me check. Maybe I'll stop sharing and I'll reshare. Sorry, I don't know what the issue here is. Might be network issue or something. One sec, let me check. Yeah, sorry, sorry. I think I had network issues from my end. Now I'm able to see. So sorry. Yeah, I'll share my screen again. Yes, yes, now I can see your answers. Okay. History. Yes, very good. The answer is history, of course. Yes. Yeah, the books are there, but history, again, like I said, history is the closest answer for this riddle. Of course, it is, even though it's factual, it still has feelings, right? And we can create history, we can recreate it. We argue, no, this is wrong, this is right, you remember it wrong. And we, of course, change, right? We keep rewriting histories. Yes. Very good. Very good. Wonderful. Okay, most of you have got the right answers. I have one more activity. So this is a pictorial representation of an historical moment. So you can take your guesses. I've used emojis to describe the historical events. Oh, okay, okay. I'll resend the link. Yes. I think now you should be able to. Yes, closer. You have come closer to the answer, but bit more. It is a historical event. Yes. Yes, the moon landing. Yes, yes, you got it. Very good. Yeah, since we are talking about historical events, I take the moon landing as the answer. Yes, very good. Yeah, most of you have got it now. I hope everybody is able to join the Mentimeter, right, without any difficulty. Okay, I have shared the link again. Yes, yes, it's Neil Armstrong. Yes, it's the moon landing I'm referring here to. Okay, now I'll go to the next one. This one also, I think everyone will get it rightly. Yes. on. It's very easy. There are a lot of clues here. We also discussed about it last class, even in the videos it's discussed. So you should be able to guess it. Yes, yes. Very good. Galileo's invention. Yes. Proving the heliocentric theory over the geocentric theory. Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah, all of you have got it right. Okay. So, before going to the next question, today, of course, we are going to discuss about history because in the last class we spoke about stories, the importance of stories, why do we need to communicate, and the human need to share stories. In this class, we'll talk about history a lot. So, the reason I got in this exercise is to give you the different modes of delivering history. So, in the first place, I spoke about monuments. Then the second, I talk about history using a riddle, and in the third and fourth question, I used completely emojis to share the historical events, right? So we'll also talk about the different mediums of communication and the medium and which is important medium or message throughout the course of this class. So now I'll move to the important question. So what comes to your mind when you hear the word history? So, like always, you throw in words and we will build from that. We'll just build the vocabulary and we can just take it from there. Yes, of course. Very, very important. World War. Two World War, like very significant event in the history. Yes. What else? And not just historical facts. You can tell me how history is appealing to you on an emotional level. What comes to your mind when you think about history? It could be anything, an emotion, an event, or how it affects you personally also. Colonialism, yes, yes, very good. Significant past events, yes. World War. Evolutions, wonderful. Yeah, because we had a lot of inventions and discoveries throughout the history, right? That's why we remember even now, the moment I said telescope and sun and the earth, you all guess it's Galileo. Yes. So that's how we can know that the impact history has on us. Yes. Colonialism, of course, there. Indian independence, yes, wonderful. These are like significant mark in the timeline, right? Yes. Earlier experiences, past facts or events, stories. Alexander the Great, yes. We also have important historical figures as well, right? The moment we say history, we remember the leaders, right? Okay, Alexander the Great and so many other people. Like, say, for Indian independence, when I say the moment Indian independence, we'll remember the forefathers, like who fought for our country, right? Yes, yes, wonderful. Apartheid, yes, yes, wonderful. Okay, okay. So all of you have got the keywords. Yes, of course, technology is also there. Yes, yes. Okay, so now let's pick up the keywords. We have the freedom struggle, we have world wars, we have technology, we have so many discoveries, and what else? We have historical figures, important historical figures. Yes. Okay. Then we'll move on to the next question. So, why do we need to study history if the past is already over? So, we all know what happened in the World War. We know what happened in the World War One, World War Two. We all know the story of the independence. We all know the struggles of people like apartheid, colonialism. We know everything. So, why do we still study if the past is already over? Yes. Of course, I take it to solve a problem in the future. Wonderful. To face, yes, exactly. Okay, we can learn from the past mistakes or past leaders did, or we can take inspiration as well and to solve a problem in the future. So the moment, the one evidence we have of the human race, the existence of human race is history, right? So even when we were faced with COVID, we immediately went back to the diseases those existed before COVID, right? Okay, what did people do when they were faced with a similar situation? That is what we will do, right? Wonderful. We take inspiration, we take examples, and we learn from their mistakes. Yes, it allows us to understand our past, which in turn allows us to understand our present. Wonderful, wonderfully put. Guides us to avoid the mistakes which were done by our forebears. Yes, yes. Not to repeat mistakes. Okay, so a lot of you are learning from the mistakes of the people. Okay, analyze and explains problem in the past. Wonderful. gives an understanding of people. We understand how the world functions and what particular future actions can lead to and how to prevent grave mistakes. Yes. Wonderful. Cultural awareness. Yes. So it gives us an identity, right? Who we are, what are we? So our freedom struggle, it gives our identity, right? We are independence and we are so proud the way our forefathers, they fought for the like our nation, right? And how they had so much bravery and they gave their lives for us. So still we remember it, right? It gives us a sense of belonging. We are all a community. We all belong to the same country. And we all have this sense that we are all Indians. Yes. It gives your identity, cultural awareness. Yes. We study to understand upcoming events and correlate it with the present. Past events or experience change the present or future with its impact. So we have to understand what has happened earlier. Yes. Okay. So we all agree on this point. To know where we are from, it gives us identity, it gives us roots, cultural awareness, and to learn from the past mistakes and to also get inspiration from the past. Yes. Wonderful. To develop empathy. Yes, wonderful. Again, I said history is not just about facts or fiction, right? It appeals to us on an emotional level. That's what makes us humans, right? We are emotional human beings, and we need to feel connected with us. And what connects us together? It's the history. It's the past. Yes, inspiration is also there. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Some more. Okay, past events to handle problems, to evolve better. Yes, yes. That is also there. Because even if we look at the inventions, that is how we develop, right? So we first had the printing press, then we had the Gutenberg printing press, then we printed books on a large scale, then people read. That's how education spread worldwide, right? Even if we look at the evolution of communication, we had telephones, radio, messages, TV. Now we have internet, computer. So one thing comes from the other. So it always comes back from the past. Yes. Wonderful. Okay, now tell me, why is it important to remember history and culture? So now we spoke about the importance of history, why we need to read history. Now, why do you think is it important to remember history and culture? Like, what makes us, why do you need to remember the history? Symbolic features. Okay, let's elaborate on that. History makes us loyal citizens. Okay, what else? To understand our surroundings. Yes, of course, our roots, where we come from, our identity, essential ingredients in patriotism. Okay, to make sure we are in the right path. Okay. Okay, so we all agree, right? Like it is important to remember history and culture. Yes. But yeah, so let me give you an example. So when we were talking about freedom struggle, right? Most of you have written Indian independence struggle. So the way we remember our Indian like freedom struggle and the way we see colonization from the people who live in the Britain, they view colonization is entirely different, right? Because what we see it as like they came here and they ruled over us against our will and they held us against our will. But when you look at the history books of the British people, they say it as like the white man's burden. And they think it as that it's the colonizer's responsibility to come and colonize the nation and to give us education. And they say they give us railways, roadways, and they educated us. So they think it as that it is the colonizer's burden to educate the colonizers. So we can see how history is differently remembered in different nations. So that is the reason why you need to remember the history as we were taught and as we remember it, right? So we can see it's like entirely different. The same event, the same thing, the way we see the historical independence and the significant freedom struggle is entirely different from the way Britishers see it, right? They think that they did us a favor, but colonizing us. But no, only we know what hardships our forefathers and our historical leaders went through to get the freedom we are all enjoying today. So I think you all would agree with me, and that is the reason why we need to important to remember history, because even history is not the single truth, right? History can also be manipulated. History can be manipulated by the historians, the people in power, people in political power. They get to manipulate, right? Like how we remember things, certain things, why we remember certain things, and why we neglect certain events, and what should we remember significantly. So yeah, that is the reason why we need to know our history, what are we, where we come from, our freedom struggles, and the history of our nation, the struggles our forefathers faced. So that is what makes us, right. That's what gives us the identity. Yes. Yeah. Okay, I'll read few responses. It gives us a crucial backdrop of the way people function today and how so much happening to you and others is influenced by the past, although no one realizes. Yes, of course. Culture is their identity, so it needs to know our culture. If we know that the culture will be colonized like what British did, yes. Builds value and empathy, not to repeat history again, and some cultural mistakes happen in our country. A resource for identity and cohesion of communities, of course, yes. To keep our practices sustainable, yes. To educate, of course, we need to know the history, right? Where do we come from? So that it gives us the power and awareness to know who we are. Otherwise, we'll be easily manipulated to believe that we are like the British did us a favor. Yeah. We might get solutions to similar problems we faced. Yes. Wonderful. Okay, then I'll move on to the next question. Okay, now again, we spoke about the different tools of communication, right? So we all agree the tools we now use is entirely different, right? So how do you think, even though the tools have changed, what remains the same in human communication? What do you think? Emotion? Okay. Okay, so a lot of you have saying emotion, emotion. Yeah. Okay. The goal of understanding. Yes, of course. We have a lot of different tools for communications, and we were discussing last class also. We use different tools for different modes of communication, right? If you had to make an official thing, we will usually email. And if you had to just ping your friend, we use WhatsApp or we just share a meme. So Instagram and WhatsApp were considered as less formal way of communication, and emails or other forms of communications are considered as a more formal way of communication. I'm pretty sure you all would agree. Yeah, we are not like it's not very usual for us to now write letters, right? So the moment you receive a letter, you can know that it's something official. It's like an appointment order or something, a policy or something, health insurance or something government official. Government documents come in post and couriers, and the messages you send your friends go via WhatsApp or Instagram. And if the school has to communicate with you, they use email, right? So we have different forms of tools for different ways of communication, like say formal or informal. Yeah. Story, plot, or situation. The need to put forth our point and tell our opinion. Mutual understanding, storytelling. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. So what remains the same is that there is always a story, right? From history books to monuments to wall paintings to cave writings, there is always a story. Even in the songs you listen to, there is always a story. Wonderful. Code words are short phrases which has private context. From letters to chats, there are many messages which only the intended receiver can understand the actual meaning. Yeah. Yeah, that is also there. Like an excellent example would be memes. You need to know about the particular context in order to understand a meme, right? Like memes are nothing but cultural quotes, right? There's like quotes of communications, quotes of signification. So if I make a meme about, say, F1, so I'm pretty sure only the people who are familiar with somewhat familiar with the F1, like what are the rules there and who are all the drivers there and what are all the teams are there, they'll get to know about the particular meme. Or if I make a meme about anime or some book or some other situation that's happening on. So these are all highly context specific memes. Yes, wonderful. Exchange of thought and information. Yes, that remains the same. You need to communicate something, you need to share something. It may be a feeling, a message, or like you said, a particular a message only intended for someone, a secrets. Yes, of course. To embark a signature history. Yes. Language. Okay. Wonderful. So with this, I'll move on to the one. Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to this question. Yeah. So, do you agree with this statement? The medium is more important than the message. So now that you have clearly stated that the main reason we communicate is to send a message, to tell a story, or to share an emotion. So here you're always conveying a message. So now we saw about the different mediums, right? From cave paintings to, so I even showed you emojis, right, to communicate my message. So how do you think these mediums affect the message? Do you think medium is more significant or the message is important irrespective of the medium it is conveyed? Okay, just feel free to unmute yourself and talk also. Both are important. Okay, explain why. Yes, because it takes the thoughts and empathy of our four beings to ours. So you think medium is more important than the message. Okay. Just to express emotions, not necessary to give full meaning, just an understanding of the situation. Yeah, because different mediums uh has different types of giving out the message. Yes. Wonderfully good. Like I said. Yeah. Something and I don't know where this came from, but we consider email as more formal than a WhatsApp message, right? So I won't be sending in your results in WhatsApp, right? Okay, you got 98 marks. No. So if it is a message or like if it's your grades or if it's some kind of meeting or even the link we send for this Mentimeter and all the communication we do, why it happens via emails, right? So we all can agree that medium also matters. Yes. Yes, definitely chatting about serious matters, arguments in the worst idea. It's better to talk out in person, speaking from personal experience. Okay. Okay. So then now we can look at the mediums that have been evolved throughout the history. So like I said, earlier we used to consume news only via television, right? We used to have Doordarshan or even radios. So all the official important news came via TV and we had this mindset that if it comes in TV, it's official because that was the only source of information we had then. Then we had printed newspapers. So even though we hear some news, we'll wait for it to come in print, right? Okay, if it comes in print, it's more official. So when I was in school, I used to wait for the Hindu newspaper to say that it's holiday for me, or I used to watch the news to know whether it's today's holiday or not. Even the weather reports, I used to watch in TV. Okay, I'm not that old, but still. So in my school days, I be the only source of consuming news was television and printed newspapers. But today it's not like that, right? We have so many apps. Even we have apps for Hindu newspaper, Times of India, Deccan Chronicle, so many other news. And even I use this app called this In Short, where it conveys like bits of newses. And if I want to read the entire article, I can skim through it. And even Instagram, there are a lot of pages, official pages like NDTV, BBC, and so many other news. It has Instagram page as well, where they also share news. So the way we nowadays consume news has changed. We see it via social media, we see it via Twitter. Now Twitter is also there. If someone tweets in Twitter, we consider it as a serious one. Okay, it has come in Twitter, so it's more important. Yes. Okay, I'll read some of the responses. Memes or movies are better than any oral stories are shared. Okay, picture, which is a medium, has a better efficiency than long paragraphs. Few mediums share fake information. Yes, that is also there. So that is the downside of living in this digital era, right? Like I was saying, I always see a video and I share it to my friends and they'll be like, no, this is AI. So now this is my life now. I watch a video and I have to make sure that if it is AI or if it is human made. And yeah, of course, we live in this age of information overload, right? Whenever I see a news, I go back to the sources. Okay, is it true? or is it official? Can I believe it? Yeah, we have lots of these fake WhatsApp forwards, and even in Facebook and Instagram, and so many misinformation, right? So we now have the responsibility of researching a news which we hear first. Earlier, we just had only one source of official like medium that gave us information. But now we had so much information, so it is on us to do a research or do a background check before believing whether it is true or not. Yeah. So you all agree that medium is more important than the message? Anyone have something against it? No. Do you think message is more important than the medium? Can, because both are valid points, I would say. Okay, so now I will come back to this question. So, like we have been saying, so now how do you think, believe, like how do you believe or think or interpret technology has enriched human expression, or has it made more shallow, or why? Or you can just talk about how technology affected you. Like you can share anecdotes like I did. My life is this, whether it is AI or not. This is my biggest dilemma now whenever I enter the social media. So, how do you think technology has changed the way you consume a news or something? You can even share personal experience or like how it changed the way, because there is this theory called flash bulb memories. So earlier in those days when we consume the news, so when you ask the people or when you talk about the people, they distinctly remembered when they consume the news, where they consume the news, and through which medium they consume. So I'll just give you a personal example. So when the tsunami hit in 2004, so I was watching this on TV. I was 4 or 5 years old, but I still remember it till date distinctly. The moment someone says that the tsunami, that talks about the tsunami of 2004, I still remember like how I was watching it on TV, and I was like, still I have the terror in me, and what emotions I went through when I consumed the news. So this can be termed as flashbulb memories, where you are teleported to the exact moment it happened, even though it happened some 15 years or 20 years back. I still remember it distinctly because I still remember the medium, and I consumed the news. So that was the impact I'm talking about in those days, like how a news, it reacted to me and how it emotionally appealed to me. So I think today I don't think we are much more immune to such emotional responses, I would say. Because I don't think I would still have the same reaction if I consume a news in internet or anything. So because that is the whole television or media that had in those days. So you can talk about it, like any such events that happened in your life and how it has changed the way it uh you consume news basically, or the emotional appeal. I don't think still it is very similar to the way it used to be. Okay, a big problem rises that the mobile distraction from study, false information. Exactly, like I said. So if someone says that there is a cyclone or something, so I actually need to Google it up, because there are people who are spreading images of cyclones from previous year. I even happened to find one such image this year also. Then someone said this is a fake photo. This was from the previous year's cyclone. So nowadays, it's not appealing to my emotional side, rather, it is appealing to my, uh, yeah, like I'm just analyzing it rather than emotionally getting attached to the news. Yes. So much dependent on technology instead of learning new skills, for example, ChatGPT. Okay. Technology has made our work so easier that we are not thinking. People use AI for consultancy instead of going to doctor. They ask advice from AI instead of people. Yeah, that is actually very bad. We shouldn't do such things. Yeah, it's achieved us to explore overspace or deep sea, which we believe impossible. Who knows? Rather, we can have this next session in Mars or Jupiter. Technology replace psychotherapy. Okay. Emojis are not equal to human faces. Okay, it made it more shallow because some people give wrong message. Yeah, like I said, because yeah, I think it's pretty much evident from the way I still remember it, right? So there is an actual theory, like you can read it up. It's called flashbulb memories. So there is a people did a study about to a group of people and how they received the news when they heard it, when heard such things, when they heard such historical moments or moments of distress. But when you look at now, out of 5 out of 10 people will say, no, this is fake. I need to go through it. I need to check it. I need to do a background check. Like I said, the cyclone pictures. Whenever they say there is a cyclone alert, people post or we can see old pictures surfacing on the internet. So yeah, nowadays we cannot believe anything and we always appeal to the brain side and not the emotional side. Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, so for that, can you go to the last question?
Sorry, I don't understand. I don't understand you.
Can you go to the last question?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Ma'am, so yeah, I just wanted to share a personal experience
Yes,
that
yes.
I share a lot of reels with my friends, and my feed for some reason, like I usually watch this kind of stuff that the reels are pretty long, like 2 3 minute long reels, and many times they have like serious content or like informative content. And when I share it with my friends, they are like, you should start watching some memes, bro. Why are you being so serious all the time? Just stop doing all of this. It's so cringe. And I'm like, it is actually real. Why are you not like getting why are you not normalizing all of this? Because this is a good content, and they are like, no, your feed is very boring, and we don't want to see your reels.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for bringing this up. Even I feel like we all have this digital fatigue, right? We cannot watch something over 30 seconds. Even I tend to feel like if a video is say 1 minute or even 2 minute long, I'll be like, I'll save it and I'll watch it next time. Nowadays, we have so much attention span, right? We cannot even watch something beyond 30 seconds because we have been habituated to this because with just under 2 minutes I'm exposed to 4 to 5 reels on entirely different topics. So that's what makes us difficult to feel emotionally connected to the reels or go beyond or to even think about what just I watched. Even if I watch reels for say 2 hours, I'll think that okay, I'm learning new things. But when I come out of my mobile, I won't even remember anything because the 30 seconds won't give the same impact, right? As you are spending some things on, say, for 10 minutes or half an hour. So, yeah, very, very valid point. Thank you, Ash, for bringing it up.
Also, ma'am, many people have stopped watching YouTube videos and prefer reels nowadays because YouTube videos are longer.
Yes, true. Yeah, I can even I feel like all of us can feel right because YouTube we used to watch a lot of YouTube videos, right? And there it's not just 10 minutes or 20 minutes. It used to be 40 minutes or 1 hour lengthy videos, right? Nowadays we are not even watching that. True. Okay, any more experiences if you want to share, we can share. Okay, yeah. So these are all some examples I brought. Like even though the medium is changed, but the message still remains the same, right? And we just replaced typewriting with our laptop. And these are like two different pictures. That is a painting of this is a picture of a painting which is posted in Instagram, and this is a cave painting. So we all can agree, right? The message still remains the same, but the mediums are changed. Okay. So we have been discussing about history. Why do we need to remember history? So now let's open it up. So what do you think is the biggest risk of forgetting our cultural heritage or who we are? And why do we need to remember it again? And what do you think would happen if we forget like who we are or if we stop celebrating our festivals or remembering where we come from? Yes, yes. Losing of significance. Yes. Anything else? Passing it to our next generation. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful example. Yeah, because most of the things, of course, we learn are from our grandparents, our parents, right? Like, how do we know, like, how do we celebrate Pongal or how to celebrate Diwali, even our festivals, or how to make a cuisine, right? There is always an idiosyncratic way of cooking, right? Every family has their own recipes, every family has their own way of doing things, right? So that is why we document the cuisines or even the songs they sang to us, right? Nowadays, I think it has been rapidly decreasing. No one has songs, or no one sings for us anymore, right? But we are pretty sure you would have listened to your grandmother singing. But our mother stopped that, and even now we also stopped that, right? Yes. Eventually, we don't have anything to pass on to the next generation. Yes. Yes. Loss of shared memory. Yes. Wonderful. Generations will feel disconnected. Yes. It's like a man without address. Yes. We won't have any identity. Shallowness in life. Yes. We don't feel belonged, right? We won't have our own community or family or the way we live in a society. What makes us as one? We have lived in the shared space with a shared identity, right? Yes. Identity crisis. Yes. Who we are. Yes. So even though, so there is this trend going on Instagram, right, where like people who live abroad or people who go to abroad to study, and there are these people like this diasporic people especially, like they create content like things my Tamil dad would say or Tamil mom would say or things that happens in an Indian household. So the immediate thing that connects us all is that word Indian. So when I look at the reel, it's so relatable to me, right? So that's what gives me connection. Even though that reel was made by someone in Norway or Canada or living in the US, I'm sitting and watching it here from Chennai, but I feel connected to the reel, right? So that's how even algorithm works. Like if you see someone of your same age or your classmates or anyone who's posting similar content which you're interested in, that makes you feel connected, right? And I've seen a lot of these things which are so relatable to me. Then I think, oh, this is the same that happens in every household. Things my Indian dad would say, like Indian dad sitting and watching YouTube with full volume, or Indian moms who never rest after coming from the doctor. So these kinds of memes when I see on Instagram, then I feel like, oh, this is the same in every household. So and people are like also using it as a form or as a medium to stay connected with their cultural roots, right? And there are a lot of these songs also, like these Tamil songs or Hindi songs. All these songs goes viral for no reason, just because it's like, oh, this is a familiar song. That is the thing, it's there. It's like it's beyond all language barriers or cultural barriers. The moment you listen to this song, it makes you feel connected to your home, right? Yes. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so now we spoke about the importance of preserving our culture, values, our habits, our cuisines. So, if you had to preserve one cultural object for the next 500 years, okay, that is a bit long stressed. Okay, if you had to preserve something, it could be anything, any object which talks about you, your identity, or your family, your values, what would you choose and why? Okay, you want to preserve Taj Mahal? Yes, yes, of course. We should preserve, I think, all the seven wonders. Yes. Build monuments or statues. Okay. Inscriptions. Okay. What inscriptions? It could be any object. It has that has a story which you would want to be remembered by. Makings of films, the process. Yes, yes. Beautiful. Yeah. Because yeah, even the filmmaking process has been evolved a lot, right? Yeah, and we have these studios in even in Chennai where they preserve these vintage cars and the clapboards and the sets they used to have, right? Wonderful. Yes. Our thoughts about our culture, especially written in any book for all next generation to read. Of course, we should document it in history. We should write a books because yeah, through books only we learned everything we know nowadays, right? Yes. Festivals and celebration. Yes, exactly. Wonderful. Wonderful. Music, yes, of course. Like I said, music, it's a huge part of our culture, the land where we come from, right? Culture should write on the walls of temples. Yeah, making of film, the process, wonderful. Books, of course. Festivals and celebrations, another very, very significant aspect, right? Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. We now even have a lot of these games, right? The gamification of like festivals. That is also an attempt in preserving these culture because, as you can see, there is a lot of games that are developed by Indian developers as well as by others in collaborative work. So they are developing a lot of games. So there is this one game. It's about Durga Puja and how they so it's a very interesting game. I forgot the name of the game, but I'll let you know. You can check it out. There are a lot of these games that represent the Indian festival and Indian culture. So in a way of remembering it. So it's like they are gamifying the memory, gamification of memory. Yeah. Different dressing sense. Okay. Okay, yes, of course, our literature, music, festivals, celebrations, even our cuisines. Yeah, again, there is also one more game. I think it's Venba. It's about the cuisines of Tamil people who they live in, I think they live abroad. I think it's Canada. So they've been shifted to Canada after being in India. So the mother remembers her cultural roots by cooking the favorite food her mother used to cook for her. So we can see, like, we have history in everything we do, right? The festivals, the way we dress, the songs, and even like I said, the cuisines we have at home, the recipes. Every family has its own recipe, right? Yes, of course, we should preserve all of this. Yeah, and I think that nowadays there are a lot of these games coming on in this effort of like gamification of memory. Yes. The process of making any food or drink. Yes, yes. Pictures and stories of a culture. Yeah. Nowadays, I think the digital archive is Instagram, right? Our digital archive is Instagram. Yes. Wonderful. Okay. So again, so now we spoke about historical accounts and historical facts. So why do you think we need fiction when we have historical accounts? Why do you think we need fictional stories? We already have history, right? We have fictions like facts. The World War happened in say some year. The Sepoy Mutiny happened in this year. So then, why do we need fictions to imagine things that didn't happen but would have been better if they had happened? Yes, creative thinking. Yes, of course, like facts sometimes gets boring, right? And it's we cannot pass on history to generation. We can pass on stories through generation, right? Because now all of us, like most of us, the what we remember is like I don't remember. Okay, I studied this in seventh standard history book, but I remember the stories I listened to when I was a kid, which my grandparents told me. So through oral history, we remember a lot, right? So that is why we need stories so that we can pass on. And not just history, it's not the only means of passing on knowledge, right? Like I said, we have songs, we have cuisines, we have practices, we have habits, we have festivals, we have beliefs which we pass on to the generation. So of course we need fiction. And that is the why that's the reason why we have so much of these fictional worlds and fictional universes, right? And these characters also they reflect the human society. They are not just fiction written from the imagination. They also holds up a mirror of the society, right? Because like stories influence society and also society influences the story. It goes both ways. Yeah. To learn things in an interesting way, not in a form of learning, but in form of pictures also. Yes, very good. Because that's why we don't just have books. We have anime, we have manga, we have so many books, right, with pictures as well. Yes, wonderful. So there is this wonderful book. It's called titled Moss. It's about the Holocaust, and it is in the form of anime. So if you are interested, like you can go through it. So yeah, so we spoke about the importance of having fictional characters, right? So how do you think characters like Harry Potter, Cinderella, they shape our understanding of human behavior, values, and imagination? You can give me different examples also. I'll just put these two it's a very familiar example, so I have put. So you can also talk about the fictional characters you read and which inspired you. So, like, I think even in the last class we spoke about these things, right? Like Narcissus, like Harishanda, like how we immediately remember the characters and their core traits, right? That's the reason why we have stories, we have mythologies, we have a huge body of work, right, in fictional and not just historical accounts. So you can talk about anything inspires us to imagine more than, and imagination can also become talents. Yes, we also have these cinematic universes as well, right? MCU, yeah, Marvel, DC, so many things, anime, manga. Yes, of course, Sherlock Holmes. To connect and relate among things. The only I think I remember is learning that reality is nothing like those stories. Yes, sometimes that is the reason why we have these fiction, right? We have science fiction, we have speculative fiction, so which allows us to speculate how the future would be. We have movies like Blade Runner, Westworld, so many good movies, right, where we speculate our future, like how would it be. Yes, Tony Stark to learn from mistakes. Yes, Harry Potter, Cinderella, so many other brilliant characters, right? Yes. And we also have historical figures as well. We have like Shakespeare's Hamlet is there, like Othello, so many other interesting characters. Julius Caesar. I'm pretty sure you all are very, very familiar. So the moment I say the names, you can remember it, right? So that is what that proves my point, right? So why do we need fictional characters and how they shape the understanding of human being? And these stories are written from real human beings, right? Like we drew inspiration from the real life characters as well, right? Dr. Stone, human evaluation after a big disaster. Yes. Anything else? Okay, I think I also have one more question. I think this is the last question. We can also talk about something. You can think of a last piece of anything like a digital content or anything, any movie you watched, any book you read that made you feel something deeply. Like you can talk to me about how what made it stood out for you, what made it so powerful for you. So we have so many examples, right? Like we spoke about like Anne Frank, her diary, how it created a huge impact. And we have so many even people like even in Instagram we have a lot of these activists and content creators, right? They make contents for a specific thing or against, and they talk about their feelings and emotions, things they stand for, right? Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't check. I got out of the meeting. I seem to have few network issues. So yeah, so the last question was about any piece of fictional piece, some digital or printed, anything you read, you felt inspired or like why it appealed to you and why it was powerful for you. You can share your experiences. I'm so sorry. I got left out the meeting. Yeah, so that was the last questions I had, and we are also out of time. We just have 5 minutes. So if you want to share, can share. Labor song. Yes, yes. Good, great example. Movies directed by Christopher Nolan. Yes, yes. Interesting. Yeah, we all can agree. Yeah, even from the recent movie Avatar, right? I'm pretty sure all of you watched it. So I also watched it. So we can learn like how we should coexist with Mother Nature and Earth, right? We shouldn't destroy it. We should like we are no longer the center of the like Galileo's theory, like how Earth is not the center of the universe. Humans is also not the center of the universe, right? We are not the only significant living being who has more rights. Every animal or everything, every human, non-human agents and other living organism, they also deserve the same place like us, right? Yeah, so we need to accept that. Like we need to move away from anthropocentrism. Like humans is not at the center of universe anymore. And we need to keep the balance to maintain the balance of nature. Yes. Okay. Hi, Nana. Okay. Movies, okay. Yeah, of course. Movies like we were talking, right? Medium is the message. Again, movies are also one such important medium, right? The effect movies has on it, the immersive experience. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I have a separate session I have designed for you about movies. So we'll discuss a lot in that about movies. Yeah, Spider-Man movies show that how a man handles his daily task and still he's happy and growing up. Yes, yes. Yeah, I also really enjoyed watching Spider-Man. Yes, yes. Yeah, even from even the sports we watch, even the games we watch, we always learn a lot from our favorite players, right? Like how we shouldn't give up, we should beat. So I'm an F1 fan, so I'll keep quoting F1. So please bear with me. Even in the last 2025 season, Max Verstappen, he was so far behind before the summer break, but he still gave a tough competition, right? And he just lost the championship with just 2 points. So we can all learn how to be so like how you should perceive fear for something you wish, and you need to work hard and you shouldn't give up. He didn't care about the results, right? He just gave his best, and it happens to be one of his best season. Yeah. Okay, Tom and Jerry, even after too much fights, they love each other. Yes, yes. Wonderful. Dhoni, yes, of course. We all have this idols, right? We learn from. Yeah. Same wise in yeah, we are all talking about real life examples now, but we also have such fictional characters as well, which we can learn a lot from. And that is why writers and authors they talk about the fictional characters, right? Yes. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, then like I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. I have a very bad internet issues. It's very patchy. So yeah, like I was saying, if you have any questions, please write it in the discussion forum. Either me or one of the team will answer. And like always, thank you so much for joining on a Saturday evening. And thank you for being so active in all the questions. And I really enjoyed speaking to you and interacting with you all. So I'll meet you all next week with another exciting session, I hope. Okay. See you all. Bye. Have a happy weekend.